Welcome everyone, it's Shari Carroll for SimonsSaysStamp.com, and today I have a unique shaker box that I'm creating using the Tim Holtz vignette box and also some Waffle flower products. The first thing I want to do is cover the box entirely inside and out with some Dina Wakley black gesso. This is a really opaque gesso and it will probably only require one coating. So I'll start with the inside and then I can work around to the outside until it's fully covered. Next, I'll be using the Waffle Flower pop-up butterfly die, and this is a full cover plate. And it's really interesting the way it cuts out because the centers of the butterflies are left intact. So you can just pull the wings up to reveal some color in the back, and in this case, it'll be the black box. I'll need to trim down my die cut panel, and to do that I'm using the Simon Says Stamp 6-inch T-square, and I'm getting an inside measurement, and once I have that measurement then I can use my trimmer and trim the panel down. Now I'm going to be coloring in the wings of the butterflies, and I want to mask off the wings from the paper that's underneath. So I'm using our low tack tape and just putting that under each of the wings so that I can do some color blending. And to get the blending started, I'm using some SEAFOAM ink, and I'm also using the smaller Simon Says Stamp blending brushes since these are really great to fit into some smaller areas. I've gone ahead and colored in a lot of the butterflies using some rainbow colors of our Pawsitively saturated inks. And I want to make sure I have my little butterflies lifted up, those wings lifted up, and I'll be adding some glue to the back so that I can stick it inside the box. And for that, I'll be using the Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky Glue. And I want to make sure I get all the little corners and edges really well so that this sits flat inside the box. Now that I have it all glued up, I can hold onto those little butterfly wings and place it inside the box, and then I can press down with my finger or a poke tool and make sure I get contact on the entire panel. Next, I'm using the Waffle Flower Gilded Butterfly die, and I've cut this from a piece of vellum. And I'm also using the Waffle Flower Gilded Butterfly stencils, and these are the coloring stencils for inside the butterfly. I'm setting my piece of vellum on the back side of the stencil, and it does have an outline of where that die will hit. And once I have it placed where I want it, I can use some of the low tack tape to hold it down in place. I'm going to be doing some foiling, so I'm using the Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo and a palette knife to spread this over the stencil. Once I have the paste fully spread, I can peel away the vellum butterfly away from the stencil and let it set to dry until it's clear. For this layer of paste, I'm using the Mystic Rainbow from Deco Foil because it has so many colors in a smaller pattern on the foil. I've cut a small piece to fit over the butterfly, and I can either run this through my laminator or through my die cut machine, but I also like to use my finger to burnish in some of the edges. And now to reveal the foil on the first layer, you can see all that beautiful color going from those blues to gold on to pink on the right side. I'll do the same process with the second stencil using that duo paste over the top and then setting it aside to fully dry. For this layer, I'm using the Deco Foil Silver. And once I peel this away, now I have the fully colored butterfly, and I have some rainbow and also some glistening silver to fill it in. Next, I've cut a piece of the Simon Says Stamp clear acetate to fit around the edges of the box. And before I attach this, I want to set this down onto my stamp and stencil mat, and then I'm going to place my butterfly just centered, and then I can place my message centered underneath. Next, I'm using some white Stays-On ink. I'll ink up that stamp and then press it down right onto the acetate. I love the stamp and stencil mat because it holds that acetate in place, and there's my message. To adhere the acetate to the box, I'm using the Simon Says Stamp Redline 1/8 inch tape, and I'm just going to add some around all four edges of the top of the box, and then I can trim this off with my scissors. I've pulled the backing off two of the sides of that redline tape, and now I'm pressing my acetate in place. And before I seal up my box, I'm going to open one of the corners, and now I can toss in some of the rainbow sequins. And next I'll reach under that corner and remove the backing of the other two sides, and I can seal up the shaker box so no sequins can escape. This is a super fun effect so that you have some interaction with your projects. And now I've added some red line tape on top of the acetate, and this will be covering up the adhesive that's underneath. So I'm going to be removing the backing of all 4 pieces. And then I can use the leftover piece of my silver foil, and I've burnished that in, and now I have a finished edge. So I'm going to go ahead and do this around all 4 sides to finish off the project for a nice finished look. The last thing I need to do is to add my butterfly to the top, and I've trimmed off the antennae so I can add a body that I've cut from the butterfly to add it to the top. To stick this down onto the acetate, I'm again using the red line tape, and I'm just have a small piece that fits that body of the butterfly, and then I can take off that backing and place this onto the center of the box just above the greeting. And then I can place the black body on top. This is a super fun project, and I love all the colors, and the sequins really match the foil that are on top. And then you can see those little butterfly wings popped up with the black underneath. I hope you've enjoyed this project using some clear acetate to make a sequin shaker box, using some foiling and waffle flower products. I do have all my supplies listed in the description box below, along with a link to our blog post, and as always, thanks so much for watching.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at SimonsSaysStamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.